Hey Doris, how you doing, sis? Would you like a link? Oh man, that sucks. Cool. Give me a second. Pardon me. Hey, Lady C, how's it going? Stupid banister. I'm gonna have to hang something up behind me so it doesn't fucking keep showing the banister.
Hello.
Yeah, cool.
Hey, Lady C. How are you?
How you feeling?
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, sometimes I wonder why I even have a cell phone. I never fucking remember to charge the damn thing.
Isn't that awful?
Yeah, especially when you're sitting there going, for fuck's sakes, I had to make a phone call. I'm at like 3%. Fucking pisses
Yep.
me off. Hey, gamer, how's it going, buddy?
Gamer. But yep, that happens to me a lot. Or I'll like just be settling in. If I think I'm going to fall asleep in the recliner watching TV, I'll be like, should I charge my phone? If I do, and that's the hardest part is trying to figure out like how much time you have left on your phone.
How much time you got till you pass out? You never know when it's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Like sometimes I'll go lie down thinking, "Oh fuck, my back's killing me." I'll go stretch out for a minute and see how I feel after that. And it's like, if I stay uncovered, I'm good. But if I put my comforter over top of me, I'm out. Like
Yep.
fuck, I just lied down. What do you mean it's 2 hours later? Fuck you. I want that time back.
Yep. That's what happens to me sometimes in my chair. Like if I grab my blanket when I lay to watch TV in the chair, sometimes I'll be out. And it could be anywhere from like an hour later to like 3 or 4 hours later that I'll wake up like sporadically when Jimmy goes to the bathroom or
Yeah.
the cat jumps on me.
And the stupid part is you don't even realize you're tired. It's like
Yep.
I'll go lie down quick because I know I'm fucking wide awake. I'll just go stretch out. Boom. What the fuck? I'll even say to Dar when I wake up, I'm like, I wasn't even fucking tired when I laid down. What the fuck is going on?
Yep. Well, like the day that I said to Jimmy, one day last week, I'm like, I'm just gonna lay down for a little while. It was like probably like 6:30, and I was just starting to feel like no energy because of the radiation.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna lay down just to recharge my energy. I'm not gonna fall asleep. I literally woke up like twice to pee, but I woke up for good like the following morning. I had slept like I think like 15 hours
Holy shit.
and like had only gotten up twice to pee. And like when I got up to pee, I'm like, am I gonna stay up or am I gonna go back to bed? And as soon as I got done peeing, I was like, I'm gonna go and lay back down.
Yeah. Now that I'm awake again, I can go lie down and boom.
Right.
Yeah. That's one thing I fucking hate about Dar. Like Dar goes lies down, out cold, like almost instantly. Couple minutes she's out. I go lay down, I fucking turn over this way, I turn over that way. I fight for like an hour to go to sleep. And then she'll wake up, goes pee, comes back down, lies down, she's out again. I'm like, you dirty bastard. Like, I just
Yeah.
fucking hate you. Because I gotta fucking lie down and turn around and fuss and fume again.
Yeah.
Then I got my cat's like, oh, you're awake. Oh no, you're not going back to sleep, and your head butt me in the face.
Right. And that's Thomas with me. Like Thomas will bug me if he knows I'm up to like go pee or whatever. He'll follow me back to the bed and expect me to pay attention to him and pet him and cuddle him. And he doesn't do that to Jimmy.
What's so funny though is like just like the last couple months, he's actually started lying on my bed with me. Like mine and Dar have our beds put together, so we can have like almost pretty much like a double king size. So we got lots of room to kick around and shit. I wanted to do that because we had the dog at the time,
Yeah.
and she would fucking stretch me out and push me off the bed pretty much, or my face would be in the wall. So I'm like, fuck that. We need a bigger bed. So now he comes and he lies with me, and he won't stay there. He'll like lie with me for a little bit. And I'll pet him, and then he'll just fuck off, and he'll lie under Dar's covers. It's like, you little shit. And then I'll like, okay, come lie down with me. I'm going to bed. And I'll get him on my bed. I'll cover him up. He lies there for like 2 minutes. He's like, fuck you, I'm out of here. Then I hear him jumping
Yeah.
off the bed and jumping onto Dar's chair. It's like, you little shit. Like, fucking.
Yeah. We got the bigger bed because of the dogs too. Because at that time we had Moose, who was a lab pit, and then we had Tilly, who was a pit, and they both had to sleep with us. And they would always try to sleep between us.
Nah.
But like with Moose more, he had to be touching both of us. So he would lay the long way across the bed.
Yeah.
And he would do the same thing to Jimmy. He'd push Jimmy out of the bed. And like Tilly will lay really anywhere. And as long as she's snuggled up to someone, she doesn't care who it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I sure do miss my dog, man. She was she was crazy, but I loved her. Like she was like your dog, always having to touch the both of us at the same time.
Yep.
So she'd have her back against Dar, and of course I got the paws.
Right. And that's the way Moose was. He would put his head on my hip and his back paws would be touching Jimmy.
Yeah. Or if I was sitting at the computer, she'd always be lying across my feet, or she'd be like lying with her facing Dar in the front room and then stretching her back legs out as far as she can, so her feet could be touching me.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I miss that dog. It's so
Yeah.
funny though, because I sometimes bring it up to my son because at one time me and Dar were like, I started it first. I'm like, as soon as you move out, we're replacing your ass with a dog, right? And he was like, you would never do that to me. And then Dar's like, no, you think about getting a dog I'm going to replace your ass with a dog. And he thought he just laughed. Thought it was full of shit. And then He came home. He came to the house one day. He's like, "You motherfuckers replaced me with a dog." I'm like, "I've been telling you that for fucking ever." I'm like, if we were in a house instead of an apartment when you're young, I said I would have traded you in for a puppy.
Yep.
At that time, we didn't really want a dog, but it was all fun and games. But then Dar found this lab cross on the fucking internet, and just by the look in her eyes, Dar fell in love right away.
Yep.
And then she's like, I'm like, oh, we're living in a house now. I'd love to get a dog one day. She's like, yeah, and we're only going to meet her to see what kind of temperament and stuff she had, and we ended up coming like 10 minutes later. We're like taking her to the car.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, but as soon as she showed me the picture, I was done. I was done for. As soon as I looked into her eyes, I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes, why'd you have to do this? Like, we got to bring her home now.
That's how it was with Tilly. Like, because Tilly has a lot of the same markings that our first pit bull had.
Yeah.
And it was someone that I worked with on another shift that was trying to get rid of her because she was getting a divorce and had to sell her house.
Yeah.
And the apartment she was renting wouldn't allow her to have a pit bull.
Yeah.
So she had to give up Tilly, and she basically posted a picture of Tilly with like a little description. And I remember I got out of work, saw the picture because it was right at the time clock. I took the picture down, went home, posted it on my TV because at the time we worked opposite shifts.
Yeah.
So Jimmy was usually in bed when I got home. And so I just put the picture on the TV. And the next morning when he gave me a kiss because he was going to work, he said, I take it we're getting another dog. Because she like literally was almost the spitting image of our last pit bull. Wow. And I was like, yep, we're getting another dog.
I know Dar messed up the other day. She saw a dog that someone was giving away for free. And I looked at it. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sakes. I look at her. I'm like, you want another dog, don't you? Because Dar's been saying no more animals after our last cat, Cheech, here. We're not getting any more animals. And then she shows me this picture of a dog, super cute. I'm like, oh, so does that mean Dar wants another dog? And I could see it in her face, but she's like, no, I don't want another dog. I don't want any more animals. But I'm thinking, you lying bitch, you know you want another dog.
Yep. Well, and that's what we keep saying with Tilly. We're like, after Tilly goes, that's it. We don't want another dog. But I remember when I got Moose because our pit bull Samantha we had just put down.
Yeah.
Like the year before. And on the first hunting trip Jimmy took, I was home alone and it just felt weird.
Yeah.
Like not having a dog in the house, being home alone. And we were new homeowners. And I remember when he came home, I was like, I kind of really want to get another dog. And he was like, I don't know if I want another dog, but if you want to try to find the right dog, fine. And I remember I kept going back to the Humane Society. And one of the times I went to the Humane Society, I'm walking through the kennels and I walked by Moose's cage. And as soon as I walked by Moose's cage, I heard a noise that Samantha always made. Samantha was our pit bull that we had had forever. And I looked back at Moose's cage and he was sitting perfectly still looking at me. And he had made that noise. And I said to the girl, like, I read his description and he was a pit bull lab, which is exactly what Samantha was. And I said, could I have him taken out So they took him out. I took him for a walk and I played with them a little bit. And like, they were like, our only rule now is that he has to meet everyone in the family.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So I knew I had to convince Jimmy to go to the inside to meet him. And Jimmy was all against it. He's like, because he didn't really want another dog. He'd had Samantha since she had been a puppy. And I remember him and I were sitting in the little room, and the girl went to get Moose. And she took him off his leash before she let him in the room we were sitting in. And
Mhm.
as soon as he entered the room, he came around to face Jimmy and he laid at Jimmy's feet.
Damn.
And Jimmy was like, yep, okay. He was like, we can take him.
You know what that
Like,
was,
it was
right?
like he knew exactly what to do
Yeah.
for like each person. You know what I mean?
He looked you both. He looked you both in the face and went, "Jimmy's the weakest link."
Yep.
No, Jimmy's the weakest link in this. So we'll go lie down by him. You look at my face and be like, "Ah, fuck."
Yep. And we had Moose for 14 years.
Yeah. We had Sky for something like. How long did we have Sky for?
You know, bros, what's up? How are you? Glad to see you again. Thank you for coming over.
Hey, you know how's it going? Yeah, we had her for quite a while, but Dar doesn't feel the same anymore. Because I know what you're talking about, that being home alone and
Right, and that
yeah,
I still say that was the only thing that did it was when I was actually home alone
yeah,
by myself
yeah,
and
yeah,
Jimmy was away,
yeah,
and just the whole not having anything, like coming home from work and not having someone meet me at the door, or not having someone in the bed with me when he was away. And
yeah. Feeling safe,
exactly, and that,
a
like,
secure feeling.
right, like, because he would be away for like 10 days at a time.
Yeah,
And like I said, we were like new homeowners. We still lived in the same city, but we were kind of like in a different area. And I was just like, I just feel like I want another dog.
yeah, yeah. Because our dog was fucking when we had her. You couldn't even come in our back gate without her fucking
Right.
alerting
And
us.
that's how Sam was. Like, Samantha was different. Like, if I were to go out at night, she would freak the fuck out if I didn't take her with me.
Hmm.
And like, I remember once Jimmy called me, he was out motorcycle riding with his friend and he ran out of gas. So he asked me to grab like a gallon of gas and bring it to him. And I took Samantha with me, and she was fine throughout the whole trip, me stopping to get the gas, everything. And he was able to pull into a fire station.
Yeah,
So he was inside the fire station because the guys were like, we're not going to make you sit outside while you wait for her. Just come inside. And so he had told me where he was. So when I pulled in, I saw his motorcycle. So I got out of the car and I walked past. As soon as I got past their street light, she started flipping the fuck out because I wasn't in the light anymore
yeah,
and she couldn't see me.
yeah. Once they lose track of you, that's it.
Right. And Jimmy came outside and I was like, how did you know I was here? And he was like, I could hear the fucking dog. Like she was flipping out enough that they heard her inside the, and as soon as I walked back in the light, she stopped freaking out.
Mm-hmm.
So she was fine as long as she could see me. And I remember like we filled Jimmy's tank and I followed him home. He was on the motorcycle in front of me. Her paws were literally on the dashboard whining the whole entire time because she knew Jimmy was on the motorcycle
Yeah.
that was in front of us.
Yeah.
And like each time he went like a little bit further away from us, she would start whining.
Yeah.
She was just like an awesome dog. Like I never like had any worries if I had her with me.
Mm-hmm. Well, the cool thing we found out one day was that my son was here.
Lisa.
Dara and I were out. My son was here, and one of our friends was here, and our dog already knew the friend, but the guy had brought his father with him, and our dog would not let him get through the kitchen into the front room. My son says her fucking back fur was straight up, and she was serious, dead serious about killing this guy if he moved any farther. And my son's like, he just has to go pee. He just has to go pee. Like, fucking, she was really protective.
Yep. It's funny because like with Moose, Jimmy used to always say that Moose was a big baby and like would never do anything for security. Like he was a huge dog. And he was Jimmy used to say that he was more scary looking than he was in his temperament. And we had a friend who rented our upstairs because we had a huge house. And once like Elizabeth moved out, we didn't use the upstairs. So we rented it to a friend who needed a place to stay. And Moose knew him.
Yeah.
And would hang out with him and sleep with him. And well, this one day we happened to be at an event at Jimmy's Gun Club, and his friend forgot his house keys and tried climbing in my living room window. He ended up having to come to the gun club where we were because Moose, he was like, have you ever wondered what Moose would do if somebody tried getting in the house? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, you don't have to wonder anymore. I can tell you. Apparently, like Moose, like went insane and started attacking him, even though he was calling Moose's name.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, he literally had my whole arm in his mouth and was ready to rip my arm out of its socket. Because I was like, he had to come and get our house keys to come in the right way because the dog wouldn't let him in the house through the window. He was like, even though I was screaming his name the whole entire time,
Yeah.
he was like, I was literally scared for my life. I was like, cool.
No shit. Yeah, I remember one time when my dog, I had a pit bull before they got banned here, but when I was a lot younger, I had a pit bull, and I had an I was in an apartment, and she was small enough that she could fucking just creep under the couch because the legs were a little higher, so she'd go under there. And one day I said, "Fuck it, I'll just get her a rocking chair." So I got her a rocking chair to sleep in all the time. And my buddy came in one day, and he sat in her chair, and she was under the couch. And I'm like, okay, dog, the dogs must be sleeping or something. All of a sudden, I'm like fucking flying in the air. My dog burst out from under there, jumped onto the fucking chair with him, and had his neck in her mouth. And didn't bite or nothing. Just like, motherfucker, get your ass out of my chair.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, that's fucking hilarious. And it didn't matter how big she got. Like, she got a good size, but she would fucking throw herself under the fucking couch. And it's like she knew one of my buddies were coming over. But I did that to all my friends who came over. But the bigger she got, the higher I flew.
Yeah.
Because I was only like 180 pounds at the time. But she would fucking throw me off there. I had one guy, he's like, dude, can you please come and get your dog? He goes, I just pissed all over this chair. He goes, I'll pay to have it cleaned. I'm like, dude, that's not me. You got to apologize. He's like, that's my dog's chair. he's like, I am so sorry. And fucking, she would never fucking really put pressure with the teeth, but she just fucking sit there and hold it until I said, all right, let him go. It was so funny.
Yeah, it's funny because like Tilly, she does it like if you sit in her chair, she'll climb up on you. Or if she doesn't know you well, she'll just stare at you.
Yeah.
Like, you're in my fucking chair. Who the fuck do you think you are?
Yeah.
If she knows you, she'll climb up in your lap and make herself comfortable because you're in a chair.
Yeah.
Like with Elizabeth or one of the kids, she'll just climb up in the chair with them. But if it's somebody she doesn't know, she'll just sit there and stare at them. And she'll literally come right to your legs and look right up at you like, you're in my fucking chair.
Yeah. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah.
Like I always say, Tilly has fucking her own recliner. She has Jimmy's recliner, which is really her recliner. The only time she gives it up is when Jimmy sits in it.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's her recliner too.
Yeah. And Jimmy tells her to get down. She's like, shut the fuck up. This is my chair right now.
And sometimes she, like, if he sits in it, she will walk over and she'll give him the look. Like, really, motherfucker? You're in my chair.
Yeah. The funniest thing I've ever found out about our dog when we had her was she was okay with pretty much everybody. She was a complete sweetheart. But, what was I going to say? Shit. I literally saw her roll her eyes a couple times. When somebody's talking to her, she didn't want to be bothered by them. She would look at me, and then she'd look down. And then they'd fucking pet her and stuff. And once they started petting her, I literally saw her roll her eyes like, fuck off already. I didn't lick your hand. I didn't sniff you. Fucking leave me alone. It's so funny. Another time was when Bernie had her dog here. Seen the dog roll her eyes. Because her dog's young and spunky. Our dog was starting to get older. And she's like, I just don't want to fucking bother with you. Like, go fucking lie over there or something.
Yep.
That dog was so funny, man.
Yep. That's how Samantha was on like one of the last camping trips we went to. Like one of the camp owner, like it's a private property, so it's a cabin.
Yeah.
But we would set up tents on their property. And one of the cabin owners' sister came and she had this little fucking ankle biter dog who was one of those dogs that tried to be bigger than they were and literally tormented Samantha for like, tormented Tilly for like 2 days straight. And Tilly would just keep walking away and she'd look at me like, I'm going to eat this fucking thing. If you don't do something, I'm going to fucking eat it. To the point where finally I said to the girl, I'm like, I was like, my dog's been like to the point where like I had Tilly on a leash. Whereas like any other time at where we were, she would be free.
Yeah.
I'm like, if she ends up eating a dog, you can't blame her.
Yeah.
Like literally the dog would come into our camp to like nip at Tilly or bark at Tilly. And I'm like, my dog is being as patient as she can be.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to hear the, oh, it's a pit bull, it's vicious, this and that.
Yeah.
I'm like, we've literally sat here for 2 days and watched a dog torment my pit bull. And my pit bull has walked away every single time.
Yeah.
And then it was at that point that the girl finally put a leash on her dog. Because I was just like, I'm not going to like scold her if she growls at your dog or like whatever. Because like when she's coming into my campsite, she's impeding my dog's territory.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's my territory until we leave.
right. And I was just to the point where I was just like after 2 days of your dog being the aggressor and my dog basically, and that's like you said, like Tilly was basically rolling her eyes and being like, okay, yeah, okay, you're a tough little girl.
Yeah.
And Tilly would just walk away. And the fucking dog would follow her. Like barking and jumping up and
Yeah. It's amazing how really good some dogs can be.
right.
Because my dog would have been like fucking, would have did the low growl to let it know
Right.
you're about to get, I'm about to make you into a sandwich.
Right. And that's how Samantha was. Like if it had been Samantha would have ate that thing by day number 2.
Yeah.
And that was my point when I finally said to the girl's sister who was engaged to the owner of the camp, I was like, you know, at this point, you can't hold me responsible for anything that fucking happens. Like there's at least fucking 15 people here that have seen your sister's dog torment my dog
Yeah.
for 2 full fucking days.
Yeah. It's crazy. That story made me remember me and my buddy and this other guy that was a fucking weakling. We were all at this place, and he had a Roddy, so I was walking the Roddy around, and she would not pull on the leash or nothing when I walked her, and fucking, I had to use the bathroom, so I went into this restaurant thing, to use the bathroom, and left him with the dog. The next thing you know, she fucking dragged this scrawny ass kid all the way up to this fucking. It was a Chihuahua, I'm pretty sure. And when I fucking got out the door, her head, she had this fucking dog's head in her mouth. And I'm like, put that piece of shit down, because I could hear the little dog fucking being brave as I was walking through the restaurant. And he's like, I'm sorry. And then yeah, the fucking dog just kept barking and barking. You could literally hear the little dog barking while his fucking head is in the dog's mouth. It's like, are you that fucking stupid? Just
Yep.
lie down, pretend you're dead. The dog will walk away. But no, and then we went to talk to the owners of the dog. We're like, hey man, I'm really sorry what happened, but fucking your dog got aggressive on this dog, and she's not an aggressive dog. So fucking, if she would have bit your dog's head off, that would have been your fault because you were allowing your dog to be like that. So turns out the guy who fucking walked her or was dragged by her to the front of the restaurant blamed me for it. Said that I was walking her at the time she got hold of the dog. I'm like, wow, really? I was going for a piss and I'm all of a sudden walking your dog? That's amazing. So he still gives me a fucking hard time about it. He'll tell the story, but instead of the guy being pulled by the dog, it's me. I was like 5 times the guy's size. I'm like, the motherfucker, your dog never pulled me when I was walking with the leash.
Yep. That's like with Samantha. We got in trouble once with Samantha when we bought our house. Like for like 2 weeks straight, I was at the house cleaning and I brought Sam with me everywhere. And she would lay out in the front yard, no problems, 2 weeks straight for hours, not bother anybody. The day we were moving in, this woman was walking her dog, and it was like a little chihuahua thing. And I don't know if the dog came in the yard or if my dog just saw it and snapped, but my dog ended up with her little chihuahua in its mouth. And basically, like you said, my brother, who was helping us move in, called Jimmy. Jimmy went out and was like, Sam! And Samantha dropped the dog. And the dog like ran away. And like the lady ended up calling the cops, and we agreed to pay whatever vet bills that the dog incurred because the dog ran away, so it was obviously alive.
Mm-hmm.
And after the fact, me and the lady ended up becoming good friends.
Mm-hmm.
And she like met my dog, and she was like, obviously, like, I realize now that like, because it was like the vet bills were like minimal.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, I realized that if your dog really wanted to kill my dog, it would have killed my dog.
Yeah.
I'm like, pretty much because your whole dog fit in my dog's mouth. But yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, it was basically human error and everything mixed in. And but that woman, like her dog and her ended up becoming best friends with my dog. Like after the fact, because she was like, all I could ask for is you to pay the vet bills or whatever injuries occurred at the time. And I was just like, whatever, I'll pay whatever.
Yeah. Fucking funny. That same dog that my buddy had there, that Roddy. Me and him were walking down the street with her. He had to go to Safeway here and get some groceries, so we're walking with her. And all of a sudden, she stopped dead. And this dog was so fucking solid that when you pulled on the leash, you had to like really pull on the leash to get her to move. So she stopped all of a sudden. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, move your ass. Let's get going. And she didn't want to move right away. And I'm like, oh, something's up, right? She must smell something or whatever. So I hand him back the leash, and he's walking her. We get to the store. In front of the store, he's looking at his dog. He's like, she's got a really weird look on her face, right? What happened was she found a fucking donut sitting on the fucking sidewalk. She fucking picked it up in her mouth and wasn't going to eat it until no one was watching her.
That's funny.
So she held it for like a block and a half to go to the store and didn't fucking. I'm like, he's like, get that out of your fucking mouth. So she spit it out. I'm like, dude, she just went like a block and a half from your house. I think she's earned the donut. But he picked it up and threw it in the garbage. It was so funny because
Yeah, it's funny though, because like with Samantha, like whenever we lived in a kind of a bad area of Nashua, so whenever I had to go to if I had to go to the corner store at night, I would always take Sam with me. And like she was the best reader of character. Like in one way, she would wait to see what your reaction was
yeah,
to the person that was approaching you. But at the same time, she would make her own determination. I don't know how many times I had seen like groups of like 2 or 3 big guys, like completely of like take the wide walking around us just from the look on her face. Like she wouldn't growl.
yeah,
She would just like give a look. And that's all it took. And they would like take the wide berth around me and her.
yeah. I remember one time we were walking, like so many times people gave us a wide berth because our she was just like a black lab cross, I think with a golden lab or something like that. But she was like fucking almost twice the normal size of a female black lab.
Mhm.
So people would be like, "Holy fuck, that's a big ass dog," and they walk around, and our dog's like your dog. You could fucking, she could just sense just by looking at them real quick. And then the closer we got, she'd start looking at us, like, "Do I bite him? Do you want me to bite him?" Like,
Exactly. Like it was weird. Like they would make their own determination, but then they would see like how you were reacting, like if you looked nervous or
yeah, if you had a worried look on your face, then your dog gets
right.
that.
Like and the one thing about Sam that we always found funny was Sam was we used to always say that she was like prejudiced because anybody that had like whether no matter what their skin color was, if you had a dark colored hoodie on,
Hmm.
she was going after your ass. Like even in my apartment, she would stop flipping out at the windows. And I'd look outside and it would be because somebody was in front of my house with the dark hoodie on.
Yeah, I think that might be because dogs are supposed to be colorblind, right? So
Right. So it was like she couldn't like really decipher any features, I
yeah,
think. So I think it was like really the hood she was reacting to versus like their skin color.
hmm,
Love dog talk. I speak fluent in dog, but I've never had a dog. Oh, dogs are awesome, you know, bros.
one breed. If you ever thought about getting a dog, one breed I'd suggest is either black lab or a Irish setter.
Yeah.
Because fucking Irish setters, when I was a kid, man, I literally used my dog for a pillow, for a footrest, and I used to wrestle with her constantly. She never growled at me and shit. I was like,
Yeah,
man. And I always wanted to get another one, but they're so expensive.
they are.
If you, especially if you want to get like a purebred, like ours was a short haired purebred. We got it for free, and the last one I was looking at, it was long haired, and they wanted like fucking almost 5 grand for it. But that's
Yep.
because it came with the papers and all that kind of shit for her.
Yeah,
But
because now it's all AKC certified and
yeah, it's like fuck you. I'll just get myself a mutt because
yeah. That's what I've always done. I've like most of my dogs have had at least half pit. The majority of our dogs have been lab pit mix.
yeah,
Um like Tilly, because we got her from someone I worked with and she got her from the hurricanes of Katrina.
hmm,
We believe she's full-blooded pit, but they have on her paperwork from Louisiana that she's a terrier mix or a hound mix.
hmm,
But like everybody that like all the vets we've seen have all been like she looks like a pit mix or a full-blooded pit.
hmm,
And they think that they put the hound mix just to make it easier for adoption because that was right around the time that they started doing the pit bull bans
yeah,
because we got her in 2008 is when I adopted her from the person I worked with, and she was a year and a half.
yeah.
So she would have been born around 2005.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember when I lived in Calgary, I had a pit and ended up having to get rid of her because the people that owned the place would not allow her to be there
Right.
because she was a pit
Like
bull.
our landlord when like he's a friend of ours. So when we first moved in here, like he was saying that like he had to get so much insurance because even though her paperwork from Louisiana said she was a hound mix, the paperwork here said she was a pit bull.
Hmm.
He was like, I had to get like the pit bull insurance,
Hmm.
which apparently is a lot more than like regular
Yeah.
canine insurance.
Yeah, I remember when after I got rid of my pit bull, like about 6 months later, there's a guy walking down the back lane with his pit bull, and there was a kid in the across the back lane from me, and he was just screaming in terror because his dog was attacking him. It was just a little fucking dog, but this guy's dog literally climbed a 6 foot fence, went over and attacked the dog,
Hmm.
and then the owner tried to tell the police that the pit had attacked the boy and the dog. I'm like, fuck you. I literally fucking sat here for a couple seconds watching your dog attacking your kid.
Right.
And you should have been able to hear that screaming. Like, what the fuck were you doing? So when it came time, the cops wanted to put this guy's dog down and all this kind of shit and charge him and everything else. I'm like, dude, I'll tell you exactly what happened. The kid came out, the dog came running after him and started fucking chewing on him. So let's see, negligence on the parents. That's child endangerment because the parents didn't fucking keep an eye on the kid and their dog. Like, and they're
I
always saying
mean,
all these breeds are so bad. It's like, no, it doesn't matter what kind of fucking dog it is. If
right.
you don't fucking raise it right, it's gonna be fucking
Right. Like Samantha was a pit lab, Moose was a pit lab, and Tilly, as far as we know, is a full pit. And every one of them has been like the biggest baby.
yeah,
Like very they're they've all been incredibly protective,
yeah,
more so over children,
mm-hmm,
but like they're very obedient at the same time.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? So they listen to the owner. And like you said, it's all of the way they've been raised.
yeah. I'm sitting here talking to you, and I look at the behind me, and I see the fucking picture. It's crooked. So apparently, my cat has been up there. He sleeps in the red and white box up there. So
Yep.
I have some like pants in there, so he fucking crashes in there. But he swats the fucking picture every so often for no fucking reason. I don't know what the fuck his problem is with that picture, but I always end up having to straighten the shit out.
That's funny.
And he'll like fucking last night I was sitting at the computer and I was watching a movie and he lied across my mouse. I couldn't even touch my mouse. So I'm having to use my keyboard to pause shit. I'm like, dude, seriously? Get your ass up, let me move the mouse and then you can lie down again. He would not fucking move. And then he sees a cigarette lying by me and he just stares at it and he stares at it. Then he sniffs it. He sits back up and he starts staring at it again. I'm like, don't even fucking think about it, dude. I said, I'm gonna fucking smack the shit out of you. And so what does he do? Takes up, you can see his fucking fingernail popping out, and he literally just poked it in and flipped it onto the floor so it could be his because he's stolen smokes right out of door cigarette packages before.
That's
So
funny.
I'm like, you little bastard! Didn't I just say not to do that? I'm like, fucking, good luck when you ask me for food later. But of course, he just gives me that look and yells at me, and I give him his food. And he says hello all the time, but now it's like fucking. You know when cats are in heat, how they get that.
Yeah.
He's been including that noise in with his hellos now. It's fucking actually kind of creepy when he when he does that. It's like fuck, you're right out of a fucking scary movie, dude. Like he was doing it for like a
That's
half an
funny.
hour. It's so fucking hilarious. And Dar's been throwing toys over here, and he doesn't think about the distance between what he's going after and what he's going to hit after that. So fucking lately he's been smashing into my legs, whipping around and crashing into other shit.
Hmm.
And I think that all extends from the fact that he doesn't have his big brother or the cat we had, Savage. He was a fucking crazy cat, that one. He loved Dar to death. He would fucking never scratch or nothing. Fucking me and Jesse and anybody else pet him like fucking 2 seconds, and then he'd like fucking whip around and try to kill you. And that's why it was named Savage.
That's funny.
Yeah, I just love the fact that before we put him down for like a week or so, he started like lying on my chest with me, watch TV and stuff. And I found out that this cat here, he hates chipmunks.
Oh.
He'll watch like because Dar puts those videos on TV, like it's supposed to relax your animal. But yeah, she puts fucking pelicans, all kinds of fucking birds on there. He doesn't do nothing. She puts fucking rabbits on there. He doesn't do nothing. She puts squirrels on there. Doesn't do nothing. As soon as there's a fucking chipmunk, he's wanting to jump through the screen and kill it. It's like, dude,
That's
like,
funny.
I'm like, dude, what's the difference between that and a fucking squirrel? Like, fucking kill them both. Yeah,
Yep.
he's made me go, oh my god, he's gonna break the TV a few times already. Because he doesn't just give it a little tap. He just like fucking, oh, he smacks the shit out of your TV.
Yeah, Thomas has like jumped on the table in front of the TV and kind of watched it. He's never attacked the TV, but like at my like where my bed is, we have a window on either side. There's a window by where Jimmy lays, and there's a window by where I lay. And Thomas likes to lay by my window, both like periodically during the night. Like when I go to bed, he'll come to bed with me and he'll look out the window for a while. He'll lay down. But usually, as the sun is rising and all the birds are coming out,
Yeah.
he'll lay in my window and he'll usually wake me up because he'll be like moving around and he'll stop bat me to let me know they're out there. And
Does he ever do that noise?
all the time. He does it in my bedroom window and then he'll do it in my bathroom window. Usually first thing in the morning. Like we'll see him chattering because
Yeah.
all the birds are out in the yard and he can see them all perfectly from those two windows.
Yeah. Yeah, we have bushes that are like probably like about 4 feet away from our back window in the kitchen. And he'll sit in there sometimes.
Right. And like those two windows face our bushes.
Yeah. So we got these little finches that fucking have this one spot all the time. They always come back to it every year. And he just sits there. And then fucking I'm like, are you gonna kill them? You want to kill them birds? And you'll look at me and you go, and then he'll turn around. And then he'll just start arguing with the birds, like telling them to get the fuck out of his yard or whatever you're doing.
Yep.
And it's so funny because when it's warmer out, we leave our inside back door open into the back porch, and he has a window up there he can go sit in. So he'll like fucking rip back and forth to the windows because he's looking for the birds. Now we have a family of rabbits again under our shed. So he sees the baby rabbits. They're so damn cute. But yeah, he'll fucking sit in the window. And not a problem. He doesn't yell at them or nothing. But we had a fucking a groundhog living under one of our firewood bin. We had no fucking clue until he alerted us that there was some crazy ass animal out there. So I look, I'm like, holy fuck. I'm like, I got to build some kind of fence where they can't get through. These little bastards always end up underneath our fucking shed. Like, we've had rabbits the last like 6 or 7 years. Every year. It's like, I'm glad it's not skunks, but fucking rabbits are cute to a point.
Right.
Yeah. And every year we get a fucking wasp nest underneath our fucking shed door or just above our shed door. It's like, God, Dar's like, here you go. Here's the can. And we don't use
Yep.
that bee killer and wasp killer anymore. We use brake cleaner.
Yep, that's what Jimmy uses.
Brake cleaner kills them like instantly. Unless you get a really fucking, I don't know what the fuck they're almost like cockroaches. You spray the shit out of it and just like falls down to the ground, just looks at you like, is that all
They
you
look
got?
at you and laugh.
Yeah. Like, dude, I drink that shit for breakfast, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
Like I told Kathy, they say the only thing that will be on Earth after the nuclear war, Twinkies and fucking cockroaches.
Yeah, I heard you teasing her about that. That was funny though. Where the fuck are all these people learning about this shit, bro? It's like, it's said on like every live now. And she knows it. I just love it.
Yep.
And that Twinkie you sent her was fucking awesome.
Oh my god! As soon as I googled Twinkies, that came up, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Too bad you couldn't get it engraved Twinkie Queen or something.
Right?
Yeah. That would have been the finisher for her. That is so comical.
Oh my god, that would have made it epic.
Yeah, my grandson apparently bonked his head the other day, fell off a chair or something. And they had to they called an ambulance because we got this, I don't know, can't remember what it's called, but we have this place you can call just to see like if medications are not good for you and shit like that. And they can find out, like, they're almost like nurses, but they sit in a business and they wait for people to call. And yeah, they talked to them first. They said, we'll call an ambulance just to get them checked out. Because going to a fucking emergency room these days is fucking like
Right?
a 3 to 4 hour wait for sure. And they checked him out. They said he'll be good. So he comes to our house a couple days later or next day or something. He's got this look on his face. I'm like, oh, my poor little man, blah, blah, blah. He's got, you can see a little lump left on his head. And I'm all like fucking just looking at him. Like, what are you doing? He got this big shit-eating grin because when he comes to the house, Dar's like, they're dancing with him. And we got wind chimes in our front room.
Yep.
We got 4 of them, one in each corner of the front room. And Dar always hits one and sings to him, dancing with Lemaire. And he literally tries to dance. He just turned 1. He's trying to shake his little butt and stuff. And so Dar hit that. I was bugging him. He's ripping around my house. I'm like, holy crap, man. Like, he's only 1 and he's already in his terrible twos. It's like, he's trying to climb everybody and everything in the house. He keeps grabbing certain things he's told not to grab. Like, he knows the word no already. He knows not to do it. He just wants to do it.
Yeah.
It's so funny because, like, he looks at me and I'm like, no, don't touch it. Then he'll look at it again. He'll look at me and I'll like, no touching. He'll grab it and he'll try to run into the kitchen.
Of course.
He's almost at the point of running now. So he walks really quick into the kitchen, and then he'll start touching other stuff he knows he's not supposed to touch. He's like, dude, really? I mean, we need to sit down and talk.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Maniac, we are both good. Jimmy's feeling a little bit better than he did the past 2 days. And I'm pretty okay. I have good days and bad days. Some days I have more energy than I do other days, but we're both doing pretty good. Thank you.
Hey, man, I'm doing okay too. Just thought I'd put that out there. There's no questions about me asking. Feeling left out a little bit, you know. Yeah, earlier I was watching fucking Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the new one that just came out.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I watched the new Spider-Man a couple nights ago. How you doing, man? I sent Kathy a link a while ago. I'm guessing she got busy, or
Yeah.
maybe she's at Awesome and Epic.
I was going to say, if Awesome and Epic are live, then she's probably over there.
I'm going to give her shit tomorrow. I'm going to write myself a reminder.
Give her shit.
I'm going to. I'm like, biatch. I sent you a link and you didn't even fucking come in my chat.
Yep. Didn't even show love to Wolfie.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Even Lisa.
Unacceptable.
Yeah. I would put my foot down, but Dar would stomp on it or something.
Yeah.
I just had enough.
I'm glad you're doing good, Mean. Thank you for coming by.
I was just about to say it. It's good to see you. Oh, what else? Let me see. So I'm thinking about building my own desk
Oh, yeah?
because I keep seeing free desks, people getting rid of these desks, and they're all in such shitty shape. It's like, or they're just too big for the space that I'm in. It's like, fuck sakes, that's a real nice desk for free, but I got nowhere to put it. And Dar won't let me have a man cave because Jesse still has his shit upstairs. So, and even when he gets it out of there, I'm not allowed to have a man cave. Just saying. You don't want to talk to her about that. Get on my side a little bit. I need all the backup I can get at this point. Yeah, but I'm thinking about building myself a desk. Uh, trying to find plans for the stand up ones. So you
Yeah.
can have it normal or just raise it up and stand. I'm thinking about I might build myself a desk and incorporate that so that's where my monitor and keyboard go, and then it just lifts up at any point I want. And then I can just drop it and back into a normal desk. So that is that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I've been
That's
seeing some nice ones.
kind of what Jimmy did. Um, like he built a desk for like his size,
Mhm.
and like he made like an elevated shelf and then a lower shelf
Mhm.
so he could kind of put it wherever, like if he was standing up, or that's
Yeah.
why it always looks like the first couple of times I used his room, they used to joke that I was sitting in the adult chair because everything was like so high. Like literally, his desk is like up to here to me if I sit in his chair.
That's fucking hilarious.
So yeah, they used to always say, "Oh, look, she's in the adult chair. Isn't that cute?"
Well, really, you are an adult here because you're with Jimmy for one,
Right.
and all men are kids,
Yes.
pretty much to till the point where you're sitting on a fucking bench in the middle of nowhere yelling at kids on the street for no reason at all.
Yep.
Yeah, that's gonna be me. Me and my buddy already made our plan.
Right. That's Jimmy every time we go into like if we go into Harbor Freight,
Mm.
periodically I have to walk over and go, "Can you put that down now? Because if you break it, we have to buy it."
Yeah, I'm one of those kids. You got to Dar tells me almost every time we go into a store, you're not getting nothing.
I have said those words.
It's like fucking, or I'll be walking through the store and I'll be looking at something. She's like, no, as she's walking by me.
I've actually done that
And
verbatim.
then I just fucking
Walked by and been like, "Nope." That's all I gotta say.
I'm
Nope.
pretty, I'm pretty sure Jimmy has done the same thing as me. I just put my head down and I'm like, fucking bullshit. I should be able to get what I want to get.
Usually he'll be like, "Well, it was a good thought."
Yeah, we really could have used that shit, The one day
Yep.
you're gonna need that, we're not gonna have it.
I've had like other customers in the store chuckle when Jimmy will go, "But we could always use it for this." And I'll go, "But when will we use it for that?" "Well, when we gonna do that?" "Yeah, when are we gonna do that?"
Here's the thing: women just got to learn to trust us once in a while to pick something good. It's like we don't need it, and then one day you're going, "Fucking meathead was right. We needed it."
Well, and like I always tell Jimmy, when I'm in Walmart and he agrees with every purchase that I want to make, because just in case I want to make that one thing that I will need that specialty cooking item for, he can get that specialty tool to do what he needs to do.
Yeah, with Dars. Nope. We don't need it. Don't ask. My favorite is don't ask for nothing when we go in there. Yeah, it's fucking hilarious.
Yep. Usually when we go to Harbor Freight, I tell Jimmy, so what do you need in the store? And he'll say exactly what we're supposed to be there for. And I'll say, so that's what we're getting. We're not getting anything extra. We're not walking out with anything more. And then he'll always throw in but I have a coupon for this and I have a coupon for that. Because they always send in the monthly flyers where if you spend so much money, you get a free this or a free that.
That's funny.
They
gonna have to
draw
remember
you
that.
in.
I'm gonna have to look for coupons and say, Dar, I got a coupon. I know what I'm gonna hear. Better be a fucking McDonald's coupon or something.
I remember once we went in there and I
Pardon
just
me.
grabbed the coupons that were on the fridge. And I remember when we got to the register, the guy looked at me and laughed and said, so you're like my wife, aren't you? You just take the flyers and just magnet them to the fridge. And the next time you decide to do a trip to Harbor Freight, you give your husband the flyers, huh? And I said, how did you know? He said, because these coupons expired 3 months ago. And I'm like, oh, yeah,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
that would be me. Yep.
That's fucking funny. No, I'm a fucking huge kid when I go into a fucking Walmart and shit, because I know there's gonna be stuff I really want to get. I know it's too expensive, but it's like window shopping, but with whining. And there's a lot of
See,
whining
that's
involved.
like when I go to Walmart, I could spend hours in Walmart. And I could spend a lot of money in Walmart. And I usually restrict myself. But when I don't ever send Jimmy into a store like Harbor Freight or Lowe's or Home Depot all by himself.
Oh no, that's Home Depot's bad.
Right.
It's an evil
That's
place.
just asking for trouble. If you're going to send him in by himself, you're asking for trouble.
Yeah. That's like when me and my buddy Blaine get together. It's bad because we do stupid shit all the time. Like we go to Walmart when they were open 24 hours a day here. We would go there almost every night just to go and fuck with the toys that say "squeeze me,"
Uh-huh.
and we'd have the whole 2 fucking aisles worth of fucking dolls and shit making noise at the same time. And this woman, she's like, "I really hate it when you guys come here." She goes, "These things are so quiet when you're not here." I'm like, "Yeah, but he sleeps all day, and I got extra energy, and we want to test them all to make sure they're all working." I'm like, "You should give us a job, not bitch us out." And one time we're doing that, and the manager comes up. He goes, he's looking, and we only had like about 5 or 6 left on the rack. He's like, "Hey, so what's going on, your boys?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing. We're just doing our test. Make sure all your toys are working proper." And he goes, "You missed 6." And we and he walked away. I'm like, dude didn't even get mad that the fucking 2 aisles are just fucking chirping and shit. Like he just looked at us, and I know inside he's going, "Oh, I really want to do this shit too." Like it's so bad. Or we'll go to fucking Home Depot. No, it wasn't Home Depot. It was another place. They used to give away free popcorn. So I'm like, dude, go look at stuff. I'll have my free popcorn, and then when you get back here, I'll be done with popcorn, and then I'll go look at shit. You can eat your popcorn, then we'll get the fuck out of here.
That's funny. I actually know people that will pick Because, like, with Sam's Club, they'll do like free weekends where anybody could go there. And
Mhm.
they have like all the sample things set up throughout the store. I actually had a friend who would go there every time they did it because he was like, you can literally have lunch
Mhm.
by going from cart to cart,
Yeah.
and you'd be full by the time you left.
Hey, Julie. Thanks for coming in.
Jules,
Yeah, I know. I've been there. Me and my buddy one time we went there. Should have taken us like maybe 10 minutes tops. We went to a Costco out here, and it should have taken us like 10 minutes to grab everything you wanted and get the fuck out. But I'm walking around. I turn the corner. He goes straight. I'm like, dude, what you need is down here. He's like, fuck that. There's samples at the end. I can see them. And it was like fucking so far away. I'm like, how the fuck did you see samples? He goes, I come here a lot, bro.
yep,
So he's
that's
got it all.
funny.
He's already got it all scheduled out. That one.
Right, whenever they debut a new product.
Yeah.
Or like I said, around here they do the non-member weekends where
Yeah.
like anybody can go there. So they try to get them to buy the more popular items or the newest items, or so they have all kinds of shit set out.
Yeah. I remember one time we went to Costco and fucking they had a whole bunch of different deli meats that they wanted to get those free samples and shit. So me and my buddy picked out on those. And the lady's like, "Are you guys gonna leave any for everybody else?" We're all both looking around. I don't see anybody else, so we start keep eating. And the lady's like, "Okay, boys, I think you're done." I'm like, "Fine." So we walked down a little bit, and we didn't know, but there was they had yogurts that they were sampling in these little fucking cups. And at, I'm like, I look at the lady. I'm like, look at me, look at my belly. I'm like, you think that little bit of fucking that little bitty sample is gonna let me know what it tastes like? And she gives me fucking about 5 of them. So I'm walking
That's
around the store
funny.
and I'm eating yogurt. My buddy's like, dude, I'll grab some yogurt for you because he fucking hates yogurt. Yeah, I love those when they have the fucking sample days.
That's funny.
My dad's even worse than me though. Like fucking, we went to Costco one time. I went with him, and he's like, uh, he goes to his wife. He goes, I don't care what you buy. I'll be over with the samples. And me and him stayed there. We fucking tried one. Then we went to the next one. We went to the next one, and then we made a loop. Went through it again. He goes, I wasn't sure the first time I tried it, so
Right?
I got to
Sometimes you gotta try it a second time or a
yeah,
third time.
yeah. So the lady's like, if you just go right over there, you can buy this stuff and really test it at home. He goes, that's a good idea. So he bought like $20 or $30 just in one certain kind of meat.
That's funny.
Yeah, fuck, I used to love doing stuff like that with him. And it sucks because I can't even go visit them now because they have a outbreak
Uh,
of that damn thing.
yeah.
And yeah, so nobody's allowed in. And fucking, he's like, he's not even allowed to go to the lunchroom no more. He's like,
Oh, that sucks.
he's stuck in his room. He can't go anywhere. Yeah, it's really hard talking to him now because he gets upset all the time. Because all he wants to do is go home.
Yeah.
But his left side is paralyzed. He can't even like. There's nothing he can do at home because there's stairs everywhere.
Yeah.
He's big to go to the bedroom. In the bedroom, he has to go up 5, 6 stairs. You can't go into the basement because there's like 12 stairs there, and the basement stairs are almost as steep as my stairs right here. So yeah, he's pretty pissy about that.
Oh.
And all I can think is there a fucking way that I can go to his house without his knowledge and fucking like maybe talk to his wife to get like an elevator, not an elevator, but one of those chairs
Yeah, the
to get him
chairlifts.
from level to level. You know what I mean? Find out how much something like that costs, but that shit's not cheap, man.
No. I mean, sometimes insurance covers it, but sometimes they don't too. So,
Yeah. But I saw this one thing, like he was talking about at this home that he's in, they don't even give anybody, what's that called? To get your strength and shit back.
Physical therapy?
Yeah, they don't even do that for the patients.
Really?
Yeah, they just more or less sit in their beds or their chair all day and do whatever. So I put this thing on my wish list just so I can remember about it. And it's like you sit in a regular chair and you put your feet into like it's like pedaling a bike.
Yeah.
It's got different settings. And I'm like, he's getting upset because he can't get up and walk or nothing. And I'm like thinking, oh fuck, I'm gonna talk to my brother, see if maybe we can go halfers or get both my brothers in on it and get him something like that, so he could at least try to get the strength back in his leg.
Right.
Because his left arm is completely paralyzed; he can't do nothing with it. So yeah, 2 strokes and a heart attack, or 2 heart attacks and 2 strokes, or something.
Right. And the sooner you start physical therapy, the better.
Because after he had the strokes and that, he went to the hospital, and then he went to this other hospital where they were, I guess, kind of trying to give him physiotherapy. And then once he started getting into the physiotherapy, they try to get movement back. They fucking transferred him to another fucking hospital,
Ah,
which didn't have physiotherapy. So then he went right all the way back to fucking stage 1.
right.
And now that they put him in the home, there's no help from there. And I don't want him giving up hope, because fucking once that sets in, then yeah, it wouldn't be long after that.
Right.
Because my whole life, my dad and his whole life, he's been like fucking bust my ass. He doesn't want to sit down. He wants to keep working even after retirement.
Yeah.
So he had a job, and he was fucking working in an apartment building, doing general maintenance and shit like that. And he wants to get back to doing that. And I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah. One small step at a time.
Yeah, so I figured if me and my brothers put money in and get this thing for him, he could at least try to get full movement back in his legs.
Right.
And if you could do that, then he can deal with his arm, I'm sure. As long as he can get his legs back and he can get mobile again, I think he'd be a lot happier.
Right. If he can get moving, yeah.
Yeah, so fucking. But the things I've been looking at just for fucking leg strength is like fucking $500 and up. Like, holy fuck, man. Like, there's old people out there that need this shit and probably don't have the fucking insurance to fucking cover this shit. What the fuck are you doing charging like crazy prices?
Yeah.
If people are young enough, fuck them. They can go to a place, pay to have their fucking get their physio done. Like, it makes no sense to me. You all need a kick in the nuts, I think.
They do. They do.
And a pimp slap. I seen a guy wearing a shirt in, I think it was Boston. I was watching a Boston hockey game. And this guy had a shirt on that said motherfucker right on the front of it. And I was like, Doris should be at that game. That would have been so funny if you were like sitting right next to him. Because soon after that, I would have seen a motherfucking shirt on Doris.
That's funny.
That was hilarious. Oh, did you check out that video I sent you on that wrestling?
Yes.
That's crazy shit, eh?
Yeah.
The underground lucha shit. Like, I like
Yeah.
watching wrestling sometimes, but fuck, I can watch that shit all the time because they're going crazy all the time.
Right?
Yeah. And since, what's his name? Daniel Bryan went to AEW and hooked up with those other guys. Now, what's his name? The English dude.
Oh, Willie Regal.
Yeah. They got that Blackpool
The
Combat or whatever?
Blackpool Combat. Yep.
Combat Club. Fucking, that's awesome. I love those guys.
Yep.
And they brought in that third guy, and he's awesome too. What do you think of Hook, to be honest?
I absolutely love Hook.
Me too.
I want to see more of Hook. He reminds me a lot of Taz.
Yeah.
When Taz was young and the submission wrestling but yeah, I want to see more of Hook.
All the suplexes.
Yep.
When I first saw him, I'm like, who is this scrawny little dude? because it looks like not really much to him,
Right. No,
and
he's
you wouldn't expect that kind of strength out of a guy like
right.
that.
The
But he's probably
talent he has definitely exceeds his look.
yeah. And what I didn't know is what's his name? Dolph Ziggler has two
Yeah.
brothers in AEW.
Yeah.
I had no idea about that. I thought that was kind of awesome.
Yep.
Better wrestlers than he is, but I'm not gonna really get on that subject.
So,
They're all good because I like Dolph too. Even as a bad guy, I like him. Johnny B, how's it going, my friend?
hey, maybe
What was your weather like today?
it wasn't too bad. It was cloudy. It was overcast, but it was warm.
Yeah, because here earlier on in the day it was like fucking 22, which is nice and hot here. It's a good weather, good temperature. But fucking at about 6 or 7 o'clock, we started getting cloud cover.
Yeah, we pretty much had cloud cover all day today. Like the sun never really came out for any amount of length of time, but it wasn't cold either.
Yeah.
So,
What I hate, one thing I really hate though, is when I first wake up, I know I got to check mail if I'm awake before dark. As I fucking first thing I do is I put my sunglasses on because the front of my house where my mailbox is right in the where the sun is. So I
yeah.
put my sunglasses on. And I stagger out there in my house coat. I got to get some slippers and stand on my front step one of these days just to fucking let people go, what the fuck is that dude doing? Is he drunk? But I go in and check the mail, and as soon as before that, I go into my front porch and I open that door and I go in there. It's like, holy fuck! I wanted to go back in the house where it's nice and cool. It was so
Yeah.
warm in there. My bedroom, like, if you like cold, you would love my bedroom because no matter what part of the year it is, it's usually always cool in there, which is nice because I hate a warm pillow.
Yeah.
It sucks when the comforter gets ice fucking cold though. Tell you that much.
Yeah, Johnny B, I will be shortly behind you as far as the crash, and the sun is actually starting to come up here.
St. James, eh? It's not a bad little area. Better than the area I live in now with all these fucking other people moving in the area.
Hmm.
Yeah, a lot of people are moving out of one certain area of the city and they're moving to this part of the city or my area, or they're moving fucking to another area I lived in. And it's like everybody's just bitching because the crime rate's going up. And
Yeah.
my poor buddies at the corner store here, like, fucking been robbed 4 times now.
Oh, that
One was
sucks.
during the evening at knife point. They bear maced him. So he had to like stagger his way back to the back door and lock himself in there.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck. I wish I would have been here. I would have helped you out with that shit. Cranky as I've been in the last few months, fuck, that would have been a release. That would have been a nice release. And if I would have had Dar with me, then fucking he would have needed no backup at all. Dar would have slapped somebody and grabbed one of those knives and took care of that shit. Because they sell knives and shit, eh?
Yeah.
So what happened was that earlier in the day, the same fucking 2 guys came in. The one guy bought a knife, robbed him with that knife later.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. That's balls, man.
Right?
Like, you guys need fucking cameras in here. But with the masks on, because you have to wear a mask, you don't fucking see what the guy looks like.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, you need to fucking hire somebody like as a non-employee security guard. Like, just
Yep.
come out here, whoop the shit out of somebody, and throw them out the fucking back door. Because here in Canada, we can't. People who work at corner stores and shit like that, even 7-Elevens, we can't have weapons here to protect
Right.
ourselves. It's like, take the loss, get the insurance. I'm like, yeah, but how many employees have been stabbed, bear maced? It's like fucking,
Yep.
and by the time the cops get there, everything's over and the guys are gone. So it's stupid here. But I love the fact that we have gun laws here, because holy shit, would I be in trouble? I'm like, Dar, We need this big ass gun. Why? Because somebody might break in the house, and I want to be able to shoot them. Not kill them, just shoot them. Like
Yeah.
in the leg or in the shoulder. No, somewhere I know they're not going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Johnny, and the fact that fucking the cops are shooting a lot more people out here, which hasn't happened in a long time. Fucking
Yeah.
insane.
It's here too. Like the crime is unbelievable here.
Well, you guys will be moving over there with Mike, so
Yep.
and you're going to be out in the country, so things will be a lot better for you guys.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh. I just need tell Mike. Just do me a favor, please, and tell Mike to record when you guys get there, and for like a week later, just keep recording because I know he's going to fuck with you at some point.
Oh yeah, he will.
I've already
Looking
read some
forward
of his
to it.
plans and heard some of his plans.
All right, I'm gonna jump off. I'm gonna try and get some sleep because I
All right.
gotta do the cook off later today.
What are you guys cooking now?
So it's Wild's game,
Oh, okay.
and I am going to do a bluefin tuna.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So yeah, 3 o'clock on WTF Mike's channel. 3 o'clock Eastern. That is where we will be.
Awesome. I'm gonna have
All
to show up
right,
and check it
Wolfie.
out.
Love
Thank,
you.
love you too. Thank you
Tell
so much
Dara I
for
love
coming up.
her.
I will.
And I will see you guys later.
All right. Have a good sleep.
Bye.
Peace out. Okay. On that note, I guess I'll get myself out of here too. Thanks, Doris, for coming up and hanging out, and thanks for everybody that came in tonight. I appreciate it. Johnny B, sorry I'm leaving so quick, but I got some shit to do before I can get some sleep. So I'll talk to you later, my friend. If you're on the YouTube streets tomorrow, I think Lisa's going live, and if Lisa doesn't go live, maybe I'll go live, and yeah. Oh, and I was going to say, Maine, I wanted to thank you for subbing. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, thanks everybody for coming out. Peace.